Hi there, welcome to Storytime with Uncle Bill. And today's 39 of fit in the year, the road to six pack abs. We'll be doing some shoulders today. For any workout, make sure that you consult your physician and you're able to, that you ate something a little bit before, an hour before at least. Fully hydrated, walked around and warmed up a little, maybe stretch afterwards. This has been in the last couple of videos, all been about addiction. My addiction and maybe ways to help you cope with your addiction. Or just an insight from a different guy's perspective. You know what I mean? Sometimes that might be enough to trigger you. We all got triggers, you know what I mean? And some of them, a lot of triggers, when you even know the word trigger, it normally means it's something bad. Because I got in a fight, I started drinking again. Because I got laid off, I've started shooting up again. Trigger. Somebody in my family passed away, and I started doing coke again. Just something that happens to where it becomes unbearable, and you turn to something bad. And I've had all the addictions. Man, I've had all the addictions. And some of the addictions go hand in hand. And the addiction we're going to talk about today, if I haven't said it yet, is sexual addiction. And Lord knows there's a whole bunch. And what I'm not talking about is kids, not child pornography. And if you're into that, man, it's a bad road to be on. It's not even a good place to be in jail. You're in trouble. You got to find an avenue. I don't know what that avenue is. I mean, I'm not even sure you can go and talk to somebody about that and not get in trouble. You know what I mean? But there's always a way. And if you choose that way, you choose a bad path and a hard life. But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the kind of sex that breaks up homes, breaks up marriages. Because there's a lot of reasons why people have sex. Me, I'm stoned in it. And a lot of these are shoulder presses. When you're coming up, breathe out. When you're coming down, breathe in. Watch the weight. In through your nose, out through your mouth. I ran into a girl the last couple of years who thought it was all right to talk and do things while her child was sleeping right next to her. And me telling her, hey, look, you don't understand. She could be fake asleep. There ain't no reason to take risks when you don't have to. It could be detrimental. You don't understand, especially the stuff we was talking about and doing. A child at that age, 9, 10 years old, don't need to be hearing that shit. I'm trying to tell you that. And not even a week later, something that we talked about was brought up. Why she's supposed to be sleeping. And you know why I know that? Because that's how I know a lot of things. Because it was all right. Oh, that's my nephew. He's asleep. I had 2 uncles, boy. They had a lot of sex, I promise you. I know. Oh, no, he can hear. No, baby, he's all right. And even if he did, it's okay. He's my nephew. My uncles never treated me like a kid. And I mean never. 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 10 years old, I was driving them. Because they knew better. They already had DWIs and they couldn't get no more DWIs. And I got pulled over 4 times before I was 12 years old. Taken home by the cops. Because I wasn't a good driver at that age. I mean, that's the truth. You know what I mean? Like, literally, I got pulled over with my drunk uncle. And they didn't go to jail for that. They didn't get away with it. I don't remember what the charge was, but it had something to do with me driving. Yeah, you think about that. So, And there's the drug addiction. See, I never got into drinking because of that. Oh no, that drinking shit gets you in trouble. Plus, I wanted to drive. But this is about sex. So if you're into drugs, odds are you're into sex. You remember it goes sex, drugs, rock and roll. You know how you start out with sex, you know what I mean? It should be rock and roll, drugs, and then sex. That's what I think. I ain't even got nothing to drink, man. So I heard it. So I'm just gonna keep it real with you. I thought sex was money. That's all I thought, because I was asleep. Or fake asleep. So, like the bed would bounce, you know what I mean? I want you to think about that now. And if you did that, you probably scarred your kids. Luckily, and the reason why I'm telling stuff like this, because I had a friend that was honest with me. I thought I was different. I thought I was a damn freak for the stuff I was doing and the stuff I was thinking. Nope. About half the damn dudes I've met in my life, worse. You're worse. Like, dude, that's all you did, or that's all you got, or, you know what I mean? It was honest. And you know, I have a lot of friends that are guy friends that, you know, it was raised by their dad, by their uncle, by their brother, by their cousin. Men. Just as many women. So, you know, and that's hard. That's hard for somebody to talk about. I never went through that. So I can't even relate. And the people that I'm talking about, people that are successful, people in power and stuff, people that are doing things really big for the kids in the community at a lot of different places, and they went through that hardship, and you would never know it. But it would only make sense that they would want to be the protector of kids, you know what I mean? And so it was not only sex, it was porn. Lord have mercy, I was always surrounded by porn. Still surrounded by porn. Now it's just a lot easier. Man. Whatever you do, don't bang the weights. Matter of fact, we're going to do some weight shrugs. So the first time I thought sex was money. And then I had watched the porn, and I'd only get to see glimpses. You got to understand something. So when I got to see porn, it was the moaning still, but sometimes I would get to watch a couple minutes of it. And the first time it was a dude grabbing a girl's butt and kissing her. And she was moaning. So I thought it translated in my head, oh, kissing and grabbing butt equals sex. Because it equaled the moaning. The same thing that I heard was happening because of this. Right? But then it wasn't long after that I watched another porn, and it was a nurse laying on I'm keeping it real with you, it was a nurse laying on a bed on one of them gurneys. And there was 8 dudes walking around sucking on her boobies. And she was moaning. And I was really confused. I was like, oh, you can do the front and the back, the top and the bottom. Why? I was confused. So then I started looking at boobies different, because boobies made the moaning sound. And the good thing about my uncles, because I asked, it was like, oh, you like boobies? So it became a thing. And my uncle Tony soul crack. It just is what it is. Soul crack for a long time. He's, rest his peace, he's passed away the last couple of years. But man, I ain't even doing the right workout, folks. Am I? Oh, don't bang the weights. Straight down. Full range of motion. You'll see some people do like this. And that's probably okay too. But I like full range of motion. So probably like from 9 to, man, I seen so many. Because the girls that came over there, they wanted to please my uncle so they could get a little bit more to get high off of. And they didn't mind showing me. They didn't give a damn. If you think the worst they were doing was showing me their boobies, Lord have mercy. Got a million stories that go off of that, but this ain't what it's about. Because anytime you're doing bad, and regardless of the bad, you know what I mean? Just think about it, though. Anytime you're doing bad, you need to stop. Go back and say, okay, now we're not doing the bad anymore. It's just that easy. Should be, right? Hell, I'll be honest with you, I was 18 and a half years old before I lost my virginity to a married girl, my baby's mama. Partly because I was with a girl from 15 to 18 and we never had sex. We were both virgins. And we used to do everything but. Spend all day in the room making out and playing with each other all naked and shit. Just never did it. And during that time, I was 15, 16, 17, going into 18. Man, I was messing around with older women, just making out, not having sex. A couple of older women. And I told on myself, too. I always tell on myself. 90% of the time. Once a cheater, always a cheater. Is that true? Are you looking at a cheater? I said a cheater. Told on myself, hey, look. And I'm pretty sure never would have got caught. And I didn't do it to be an asshole. I didn't do it to be mean. I was wrong. And it wasn't even like I had a guilty conscience. Because I did it. I didn't feel ashamed because I got caught because I didn't get caught. And I didn't feel it's hard to explain. And it might, for so many reasons, been the wrong thing to do. And I'm not sure if it was ever the right thing to do. And to be honest with you, I never got left for that. But I did it. Even from the time I was 15. I ain't never had nobody look at me and say they cheated on me. Oh man, those were Arnold's, if I didn't tell you. It's the same thing as shoulder press, but when you come down, tilt in, you should be able to see the back of your hands. If you don't have a mirror, a full-length mirror is nice to work out in. I need to get one. So you can see yourself, make sure you're doing the exercise right. You can see your progress and check yourself out every now and again. You should be proud of who you are. I don't care what you look like. You are who God made. You know what I mean? You should be able to feel comfortable in your skin. A lot of times, especially dealing with sex, we get insecure about things. And those insecurities could be our downfall, especially when somebody uses them against you. You have to really learn to get away from that. If somebody attacks you, because of your appearance or your weight or maybe even your intelligence or your status or whatever, learn to make that funny. That's how comedians got rich. Taking their bad personal problems and figuring out a way to make it funny. Because the only thing you end up doing is being hurt. And sex should be about fun. And I don't know I don't know if like if you're a real sexual addict, like you just can't help it. Your wife's at the home and she's giving you the best that any woman on earth could give you, and it could be in every aspect, not even just sex, the money and everything else. But you just got to have that girl, or you got to have somebody's wife, or you just have to have it. I mean, there's just some people that urge is just too much, and they're willing to risk it all. Some multiple times a day. I met some real characters. People that's like, hey, this is who I am. This is what I like, and this is what I do. And either you accept me for who I am, and we could be friends, or I could just understand that you're not going to be my friend. I respect the hell out of that. I don't have to like anything that you do. I don't have to like anything that you say. But my respect value for you is high. Because you let me know. And I could make my own opinion. Just because I don't like something about you don't mean we can't be friends. I just got to figure out a way to stay away from the things I don't like. Because the one thing I respect above anything is honesty. Sometimes the truth hurts. Sometimes the truth sucks. You think I really want to be all the bad things that I can be being called? You know what I mean? No. I don't like nobody to talk about me. And if you come at me talking about blah, 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 on my weakness, and laughing at you. Probably because I told you what my weaknesses are to see what you would do. I don't have none. You're only going to make me mad because you tried me. I told you what something meant. I told you that something meant something to me, and you try to use it against me. I know that's just human nature for some people. Because everything ain't for everybody. Man, to some people, sex is how they express love. That's the only way they know how to show love. There ain't no love without sex. Can't be in love without it, but it's a form of punishment. And some just want the punishment of sex. Man, I don't know. Some people just say, I want you to make love to me. And some people say, don't do nothing but pound the shit out of me. I didn't say it. You know what I mean? I just aim to please. That's all you could ever do, people, especially when it comes to sex. Do the best you can with what you got. And hope like hell somebody enjoys it as much as you, and just as spontaneous and fun and adventurous and all the things it's supposed to be. I'm very giving. I mean, just to be honest with you straight up, and everybody knows it, all my friends and family. So I'm not saying anything new that I haven't already said a million times, and it might be offensive to you. But this, I mean, when you learn to deal with addiction and go into groups and stuff, you learn to say the truth, because that truth might help somebody. I would much rather masturbate, jerk off, or whatever than have sex. But if I am going to have sex, I'm going to make sure it's about you, because the reality is I just much rather jerk off. And we go 100 times a day, 1,000 times a month, whatever you got. Very enjoyable. It's supposed to be. You know what I mean? You're supposed to feel comfortable, totally naked, all that. Oh, let me turn the lights off. Nah, that ain't happening. Get over here. It's going to daylight. Gonna take showers. See ya. Enjoy you. And if you with somebody, I'm not sure if you could ever, like I was trying to say before, I'm not sure if you could do everything to be perfect and not make your husband or wife cheat on you. And I've seen some who what I thought were good girls, perfect girls and shit, man, straight whoring. Same thing with the dudes. I mean, it just is what it is. You know what I mean? You like what you like. And when you get caught, it ain't no big deal, you know, because you're heartless and lie. That's what you know you're in trouble and you're doing bad when you start lying. And something's always wrong with something's different. People are a creature of habits. It ain't hard to figure out when something went wrong with something went bad. You know, somebody comes home at 6 o'clock and all of a sudden they're not showing up at 7 and ain't got no real, or the phones start blowing up in the middle of the night, or, you know what I mean? There's a million things like, hey, wait a minute, there might be somebody else in the picture. And a lot of times it's easy for us to say, oh, it's nothing, or listen to the lies. Oh, you know, that's just such and such. Everything's cool. And then it comes a point, I've seen it a lot of times. Do you leave him? Do you leave her? Found out they're cheating. Best friend, brother, uncle, dad, dude down the road, dude who just got out of prison. You know what I mean? A dude that's in jail now. How the hell's that happen? That dude's asleep. I understand. Most of the time, everybody wants attention. And there really ain't no bigger attention getter than sex. It's one of the oldest professions there is. You know what I mean? And it's supposed to, like the marital status is supposed to symbolize the unity of two people under one, and you're never supposed to have sex with anybody else. It sounds good. And I say that so nonchalant because I've just seen it more times than you can imagine. Friends, moms. I mean, I'm telling you, people that you really think, nah, they went, yeah. And then you can't pass judgment. You know what I mean? Do you really judge somebody for anything like that? The answer is hell yeah. Won't get you nowhere. Won't change anything. Outcomes already happened. Let me tell you a situation I had, folks. I was with an older woman, and I had one of the kid, and I found a married woman. And it's a long-time friend, too. And knew that I wanted to do that, and not only was willing to go ask the girl that I was with to see if we can make something work with the three of us, but actually went over there and made that happen. So technically for about 2 weeks, I had two girlfriends. Spend a day with one and a night the other. Straight up. And I got a buddy that's been doing that for 20 years. I'm lying them down, folks. Made it work. You know, it's just like any relationships. They have their tough time, but for 20 years, 20 years. Ride or die, two of the coolest girls you ever met. Hunters, fishers. They're gonna mow the grass with you, cool chicks. And I wanted that. And I really had that for 2 weeks. Think about it. But the reality is, I've seen cheating my whole life. Just seen it. Not suspect, not like, yeah, don't tell your mom, don't tell your aunt, don't tell this, don't tell your sister, don't tell my girlfriend. I've been the reason why a lot of my friends got extracurricular activity. And I'll tell you straight up. And I got friends. I got a buddy, I keep saying I'm going to bring him on here. But he's like in a society of swingers. This dude could bring you girls all day long. All day. And they do whatever. And I mean whatever. like there is no like these, you gotta understand something. These girls are already comfortable having sex with other dudes. I don't think there's rules. And I didn't. Man, he been trying for a long time. A whole bunch of girls. Come on, man. Like, nah, I don't get down like that. And I talk about it, and maybe I'm ashamed of some of it. But for the most part, never caused any problems. Not like when they did it on their own and they got caught. And it's not funny. It's not funny because when you're dealing with a sexual addiction, it's no longer about one-on-one couples. Normally, it's about multiple partners, and normally, if there is a relationship fall, somebody's going to get hurt. That's what reality is. Nobody wants to get cheated on. Nobody wants to get lied to. Nobody wants to get stole from. And sometimes having sex with somebody else takes all that and causes sometimes lifelong damage. And some people have already dealt a hard hand as a kid, and they really don't need that shit as an adult. So I always tell people directly about me. I'm gonna give you the tools you need to maybe set me off, to make me mad, or I'm gonna give you the tools to help you make you a better person. Because it's all designed to make you a better person, at least to think about things. Think about things a little bit differently. Because if you are out there cheating, I promise you don't want no. And man, I've seen. Because I've had extramarital affairs, quite a few of them, and I've seen the dirty that girls would do if you think you could get over on them. Now have sex with all your friends, not one, all of them. Guys too. Guys too. Because sex should never be about hurt. Unless you like getting your hair pulled or you like being whipped or something crazy like that. But it's something that you agree upon. And wrong exercise. It should never be about crying pain, hurting pain, that deep soul pain where sometimes you don't even want to live. That I don't know how many times I don't want to live no more. The pain, the hurt is too much. And probably about 7 times out of 10, the person that's cheating like that don't want to cause you that trouble. They urge is too much. It's a brain thing, you know what I mean? But it all comes down to choices. And that's what every addiction, and that's what it's all about. Choices, finding a different avenue. Like I always tell people like this, if the urge is too much, especially with the technology today, the porn is right there. Most of the time, the objective is just to get off. Gun that, shoot them out. See, and most of the time it changes. I talk to a lot of people. I've done a lot of research. People come to me. If you're talking to me, eventually you're going to talk to me about everything because I ask questions. I know the right questions to ask. And I tell you, hey, look, man, I've been doing this my whole life. And since you're talking about it, I got some questions to see how maybe different you are and to see how honest you are. Just see how honest you are. And the difference really between me and most people, I'm listening. I'm listening intently because it's an ongoing life project to be able to tell the story. And you can't understand certain aspects of things if you don't know they exist. Because I've been all across the United States, up, down, north, just around, and not everybody's the same. I mean, really, but they are. You've been through different situations. You got a different background. You got different beliefs. You've never seen this. You've never been in that situation. You know, a lot of people say, "Oh, I would never do that." You never been pushed. Oh man, I didn't know that person would ever do that. Oh, that person's surprised. Pushed, pushed. Sometimes push is seeing your baby drowning, and you push to save a life. You did something incredible because the love and the adrenaline was so strong. You was able to do so. The urge to have sex was greater than to be with the family. The urge to hit that rock was greater than going to church that day. There's the triggers again. And once you know yourself, you'll know your triggers. And the one thing I'm always going to tell you, you got to know yourself, man. Try not to fall for it. Tell people about you. Don't lie about it. This way, when it does happen, or not even does happen, but I guess it was reality is people ain't surprised, or they could just say, "Hey, I'd rather not mess with you in that capacity." Believe me, I heard that a few times, and that's all right. Because the one thing I know, I'm not for everybody. Nobody is. I'm not no. I'm not that 10. But what I do know is there's girls that look at me like that hot dog on that deserted island after you've been on that desert island for 30 days and you ain't had no food, like in the cartoons, and you get the bug eye and everything you see start looking. That's how you're looking at me. That's probably how I'm looking at you. If I'm watching your videos and stuff, you know what I mean? It's just that attraction. You are attracted to a certain kind of dude, and I fit it. A middle-aged, bald, dad body looking dude. Wondering if I'm some kind of lumberjack or something. You know what I mean? Do I ride horses or a motorcycle? Answer is neither one, to be honest with you. Neither one. You get it up there, hold it up to your chin. Make that shoulder work. Breathing up. When you're coming up, breathing into your nose. So I'm going to leave you with this, man. If you got somebody you with, this is the way I see it. They're the only person that you're really supposed to be allowed to have sex with unless y'all have other arrangements. But if your arrangement is to only have sex with each other, every chance you get. And ask them if they're ready. Make them feel wanted. Make them, there's nobody else on earth but you. Let's do this. And women, don't be afraid to ask your man for sex. And men, don't be afraid to ask your woman for sex. And try to find a way that you can make that happen in some way, shape, or form. Maybe it might not be the sex. Maybe there's something else you could do. And expect sometimes to be let down where it just ain't gonna happen because people do get headaches or there's the period, or be sympathetic to that person and go watch some porn. There's always a better way, but sex should be, you should be comfortable. You should want to give, and you should be giving. And be able to talk about it. Be able to talk about it without fear of sounding, I'm just gonna be honest, sounding whorish or a dirtbag or whatever, because that's who you are. And if you're not gonna be that way, there's gonna be a certain part of you that needs to be that way, and you'll go find it somewhere else, thinking that this person won't do it because either they're in love with you, or that's not something they do, or they talked about it, they said they don't want to do it. As things go on, try. Everything changes. People's perspective change, especially when you start having things happen in life that or monumental, where they cause drastic thinking, like people passing away, and your idea of mortality becomes real, and now you're susceptible. Some people think they're just always going to die now, and really change. Um, some in a positive way, and some in a negative way. I've seen it go either way. But one thing that doesn't have to change is the way you are with your partner. I mean, that's your partner. That's supposed to be your road dog, your homie. Let them know it. And, and if you've been together a while, maybe you ain't did something. I hear all the time, oh, me and my husband, me and my boyfriend, we ain't had sex in a year. Why? Oh, we grown apart, this and that. I tell me, go over there and yank on his ding ding one time. Go over there and put that thing on. And there's been times many of them girls didn't get that reaction, or the guy too. And a couple of those times I sat in and fixed that. Just to be honest with you, I mean, and they thank me too. It just is what it is. It's just as detrimental, and if you're doing drugs, you're probably doing sex too. It normally go hand in hand, sex, drugs, and rock and roll. It can cause you a massive amount of trouble, and maybe working out. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you, folks. If you that urge, man, you can take care of it. You know you can if you have a sexual addiction, because you probably masturbate all the time too. It's just what reality is. And I know there's plenty of people who say, ain't never did it one time in their whole life. That's awesome. I don't know even what to say about it, because it ain't me. I probably did it twice a day. And it's probably about 6 o'clock in the afternoon. Anyway, that's the story for today. Hope everybody's having a good day. If you can, hit that like button, share it, subscribe if you haven't.